You won't believe what just happened between Bishop J. Drew and Bishop Wooden. After months of whispers, rumors, and behind-the-scenes tension, Bishop J. Drew finally confronted Bishop Wooden, and what happened next has stunned the entire faith community. This isn't just a clash of personalities. This is a confrontation that could change everything you thought you knew about them. For months, the tension between Bishop J. Drew and Bishop Wooden has been the talk of the gospel community. Social media whispers, cryptic posts, and subtle digs in sermons had everyone wondering, what is really going on behind closed doors? Today, you're going to hear details that few have reported and see the story from an insider perspective. You won't believe the moments that led up to their face-to-face confrontation, the words exchanged, and the reactions that followed. From shocking revelations to unexpected emotional breakdowns, this is where it gets unbelievable. By the end of this video, you'll understand why this confrontation isn't just church drama. It's a defining moment that could shake the foundations of their ministries. So stay with me, because what happened next changed everything. And it's not what anyone expected. The story of Bishop J. Drew confronting Bishop Wooden didn't happen overnight. For months, subtle tensions were brewing, and few outside their inner circles truly understood the gravity of the situation. It started with what seemed like small, harmless disagreements, discussions over leadership decisions, ministry approaches, and differences in vision for their congregations. But behind the calm smiles at public events, there were whispers. Church staff and close associates began noticing heated exchanges in private meetings, sometimes spilling over into heated texts and emails. Sources say that for weeks, Bishop J. Drew had been wrestling with whether to address the growing divide openly or let things simmer. Social media only amplified the tension. Followers began speculating about cryptic posts and vague statements from both leaders, trying to decode hidden messages or subtle jabs aimed at each other. Every Sunday sermon, every interview, every Instagram story was dissected by the community, fueling rumors and anxiety. And then, one pivotal incident changed everything. During a private gathering meant to foster unity, a disagreement escalated beyond casual debate. Voices were raised, doors were slammed, and for the first time, insiders realized that Bishop J. Drew was preparing for something much bigger, a confrontation that would finally bring months of tension into the open. But what happened next would shock everyone, and it all began the moment Bishop J. Drew stepped into the room where Bishop Wooden was waiting. The moment finally came. Bishop J. Drew walked into the room, and for a split second, time seemed to freeze. Bishop Wooden, calm on the outside but with an intensity in his eyes, acknowledged the arrival with a nod that didn't quite mask the tension. Everyone present felt it. This was no ordinary meeting. Bishop J. Drew didn't waste time. He began by addressing months of unspoken grievances, carefully articulating every concern, every misunderstanding, and every perceived slight. The room was silent, the air thick with anticipation. No one had ever seen these two leaders in such a vulnerable, unguarded state. Sources describe Bishop J. Drew's tone as firm but controlled, a mixture of righteous anger and deep disappointment. "We can't keep pretending everything is fine," he reportedly said. "It's time to face the truth, even if it's uncomfortable." Bishop Wooden, known for his composed demeanor, responded with measured words that carried weight. He acknowledged some points, denied others, and, in moments, expressed his own frustrations. What started as a conversation quickly escalated into an emotional exchange, voices rising, gestures emphasizing points, and pauses heavy with unspoken tension. At one point, a particularly explosive revelation came to light, something that insiders had whispered about for weeks but never confirmed. This was the moment the room collectively held its breath. The revelation exposed vulnerabilities, past mistakes, and long-standing resentments that neither leader had been willing to admit publicly. But what shocked everyone most was not just the argument itself, it was the raw honesty. Bishop J. Drew, usually diplomatic, let his guard down, speaking with a mix of emotion and conviction that left even the closest advisors stunned. Bishop Wooden, too, revealed sides of himself rarely seen outside the pulpit. For nearly an hour, the confrontation unfolded like a high-stakes drama. Every word mattered, every glance carried significance, and every reaction from the staff and observers added another layer of tension. By the end, no one left the room untouched. Something fundamental had shifted between them. And just when it seemed the confrontation might conclude, an unexpected moment occurred, one that would leave the faith community talking for weeks. Bishop J. Drew delivered a statement that no one saw coming, a line that changed the entire dynamic and hinted at even bigger implications for both ministries. But what exactly was said, and how did Bishop Wooden respond? That's where things get unbelievable, and it's exactly what we'll explore in the next chapter. The confrontation between Bishop J. Drew and Bishop Wooden didn't stay behind closed doors for long. Within hours, whispers became conversations, and conversations turned into viral discussions across social media platforms. Church members, gospel influencers, and faith-based media outlets were all trying to process what had just happened. Immediately, videos of the meeting's outside moments began circulating, capturing subtle gestures, tense glances, and a few cryptic words, exchanged as both leaders left the room. Comments poured in from followers, many expressing shock, others taking sides. Some admired Bishop J. Drew for finally speaking his truth. Others defended Bishop Wooden, praising his calm under pressure. The faith community was divided, and the debate grew louder by the hour. Insiders reported that staff members were still processing the intensity of the confrontation. Some described it as historic within their circle, an event that might define both leaders' ministries for years to come. Others admitted feeling uneasy, fearing that the tension might affect the church's operations and the morale of its congregation. Meanwhile, church influencers and popular gospel commentators began dissecting every detail. Live streams, podcasts, and video breakdowns speculated on the implications. Was this a turning point for unity or a signal of deeper fractures? Could reconciliation occur, or were both bishops now on permanently opposing paths? The reactions weren't limited to followers. Even clergy and leaders outside their immediate network began weighing in. Many shared personal experiences, referencing similar confrontations in their own ministries, while others questioned leadership, accountability, and transparency. Social media threads exploded with debates, sometimes respectful, sometimes heated. But what made this fallout even more shocking was a leaked audio clip that emerged days later. In it, Bishop J. Drew elaborated on the confrontation, offering raw insights into his perspective. His words revealed not only personal grievances, but also systemic issues that had long been ignored, issues that no one outside the inner circle had fully understood until now. The leak ignited another wave of controversy. Bishop Wooden, reportedly caught off guard by the audio's release, issued a statement that was equally measured and pointed. Some interpreted it as an olive branch, others as a subtle counterattack. The faith community was now caught in a whirlwind of opinions, emotions, and speculations that showed no signs of slowing down. What's undeniable is that this confrontation created ripples far beyond the room where it happened. Conversations that were once private became public, debates that were once polite turned passionate, and a story that many thought would fade quietly instead became one of the most talked about moments in modern gospel leadership. And just when it seemed like the story couldn't get any more intense, an insider revealed yet another shocking development, a revelation that could change everything we think we know about both Bishop J. Drew and Bishop Wooden. But we'll get to that in the next section, where the full implications are finally laid bare. After the confrontation, the aftermath was felt far beyond the walls of any church building. Bishop J. Drew and Bishop Wooden returned to their daily ministries, but something had undeniably shifted. The energy, the dynamic, and even the way followers engaged with their messages changed overnight. For Bishop J. Drew, the confrontation was a release of months of tension. Many insiders described him as lighter, more determined, yet visibly burdened by the weight of speaking the truth. It was as if the confrontation had been a cathartic moment, painful, yet necessary. In subsequent sermons and social media posts, his tone reflected a newfound clarity. He emphasized accountability, honesty, and the courage to address conflicts head-on. Bishop Wooden, meanwhile, faced scrutiny and reflection. Known for his calm, measured approach, the confrontation exposed sides of him that few had seen before. While some questioned his leadership style, others admired his composure and willingness to face uncomfortable truths. His statements post-confrontation suggested a leader deeply aware of responsibility, yet keenly aware of the fine line between authority and approachability. The congregation and broader gospel community were forced to confront their own biases, loyalties, and expectations. Supporters on both sides debated, discussed, and sometimes clashed over who was right or wrong. Yet beneath the surface, a larger lesson was emerging. Leadership is human, and even the most revered figures have moments of vulnerability, tension, and growth. Social media continued to amplify these lessons. Viral threads, interviews, and commentaries dissected the confrontation from every angle. Faith leaders, influencers, and churchgoers engaged in real, sometimes heated discussions about transparency, accountability, and the importance of confronting issues rather than avoiding them. In many ways, the story of Bishop J. Drew and Bishop Wooden became a case study in modern ministry leadership, showing that even public figures are not immune to conflict, and that conflict, when addressed honestly, can lead to growth. But beyond the lessons for leaders, there were also personal takeaways. The confrontation reminded followers that patience, empathy, and understanding are essential in any community. People saw that speaking your truth, even when uncomfortable, can change dynamics forever. They saw that reconciliation doesn't always look like harmony immediately. It often begins with honest, raw, and sometimes difficult conversations. And perhaps the most surprising takeaway of all, for some insiders, the confrontation planted the seeds for a future collaboration neither party could have anticipated before. While tensions remain, the willingness to face hard truths has opened doors to conversations that might eventually lead to unity, a renewed vision, or at the very least, a deeper mutual respect. The story of Bishop J. Drew confronting Bishop Wooden is not just about a clash between two leaders. It's about courage, accountability, and the raw, unfiltered reality behind the public personas we often idolize. It's a reminder that even in faith, confrontation can be transformative, and honesty can spark change in ways that sermons and speeches alone never could. The confrontation between Bishop J. Drew and Bishop Wooden has revealed a side of ministry most of us rarely see. Raw emotion, honest dialogue, and the courage to face long-standing issues head-on. What started as tension behind closed doors exploded into a moment that challenged reputations, tested leadership, and captivated an entire community. From the buildup of hidden conflicts to the dramatic face-to-face confrontation to the aftermath that shook social media and church congregations alike. This story shows that even revered leaders are human. They experience doubt, frustration, and fear, but it's how they confront those feelings that defines them. As the dust settles, the lessons are clear. Speaking your truth matters. Confrontation, when approached with courage and honesty, can be transformative. And the ripple effects of such moments extend far beyond the room where they happen. They impact communities, followers, and the future of leadership itself. If this story surprised you, shocked you, or made you reflect on the reality behind public personas, don't keep it to yourself. Like this video, share it with others, and comment below with your thoughts. Who do you think handled the confrontation best? And what do you think will happen next? Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss our upcoming stories, where we dive even deeper into the controversies, revelations, and shocking moments shaping the gospel community today. The truth is out there, and you deserve to hear it.